I'm Dan Morris, you're watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft, and today I am completely obscured by smoke. Nice. As you can tell, I've already lit the fire, which tells you something's coming, something that requires fire. Because what we're going to be doing today is making a fish oil lamp. Or fish oil candle, depending on how you want to look at it. But it occurs to me that when you're cooking most meats, you get oil and fats that leak out of them, and they are flammable. Now, a lot of fats, say, that come out of pork and beef and all of that, they'll tend to congeal and go quite thick. They'll set quite firmly when they cool down. But fish oil doesn't seem to do that as much. It stays quite liquidy. So it'd work, I guess, as fuel, very much like kerosene or any other oil for that matter. Not to say that the fat that comes out of other meats isn't perfectly useful, because it is, but that would be more of a traditional candle with a wick internal. What I'm looking to do is actually use the oil to make a sort of a lamp. So first things first, we're going to need a fish. So we're going to need one of these slippery little suckers, a nice rainbow trout. Now I'll completely admit this is an idea I've not tried before, so I don't know if it's going to work, and more importantly, I don't know if it's going to work with trout. Guess we're going to find that out, but we don't need the guts. So anyone who's not gutted a trout before, there's a trout video on my channel where I butterfly fillet it. I'm not going to butterfly fillet this jobby. I don't need him butterfly filleted, I just need his guts out. So when you are gutting a trout, take your knife, open him up across the belly, start just behind the jawbone, open him all the way down between those fins, right down to his bottom. I'm not going to show that bit. I don't know if YouTube allows you to show cutting animals up. I've seen on a lot of other channels they leave that bit out, pulling the guts out and stuff. I don't know if it would upset YouTube. So if you want to see that, look on my channel. It's called Butterfly Filleting Trout. It goes into it in more detail. But I'm going to get his guts out. Right, so I've got the guts out of the little devil. Trout are a lovely fish to work with when it comes to gutting and removing bloodlines and things. They basically do it themselves. And you can see half the bones have already come out, and I haven't bothered to butterfly fillet this, and I'm not going to, I don't need to. But they do basically do most of that on their own anyway. So, like I say, check out my other video, butterfly filleting. And I'm just going to open him up all the way down to the tail. I don't want to cut through the spine, but open him all the way to the tail. And that's going to let them lovely juices and oils run out of him. Marvellous. Keep the head on for this because there's oil in there that we want as well. I'm going to save what's left of the carcass and take it home with me for another video later on through the winter. I haven't got the water to waste, so I'm going to clean him with this scrotty towel. Doesn't matter. As I always say in my videos, always have a towel or some pieces of towel handy. They are very useful things, and even though it is now covered in trout goo, I just wash them in a bucket of hot water and hang them up to dry. So there's me trout, all nice and ready. Onwards to the next phase of operation. So, how are we collecting this sacred fish oil? I hear you all ask in proud and happy voices. Well, a long time ago, in this galaxy, not one far, far away, I came across these, a flat pot. Annoying name, why not just call it flat pot? That is what it is. Now what this is a thin piece of stainless steel. It comes with this lovely plastic case, which is a fantastic wafty board for encouraging a bit more life in fires. Fabulous. 2 in 1. Anyway, what this actually is a cooking pot or grill that you fold up. Now it's all shaped and stuff, it's thin. I'm going to wreck it today. It's probably not being any use after what I've done with it today, but it was dirt cheap. It was 99p. I bought a load of them because what I saw straight away, lamp reflectors, which could be its secondary use when we finish this video, who knows. I will take it away with me and try and clean it up, but it's really thin and bendy, and the idea is that you fold it into the corners like that. I'm not going to do it proper because I don't need it to do that, but you fold it up and it makes a cooking pan or a grill pan, and you can use it to boil water in. It's got measurements on it there. But that's not what I want it for. What I want it for is to cook the fish in and not so much collect, but direct the fish oil. So what I need to do with it is fold the thing in half down the middle. So if I start to fold, like I say, this thing's going to be trashed by the time I'm done with it. But as I said, I bought a great load of these. They were 99p a piece. I bought loads of them, and because I figured lamp reflectors, so when I've built more of a spot and I've got it a bit more hidden, I'll have specific locations on specific trees where what I'm going to do is put lighting locations, and I'll just nail some of these behind it as a reflector to make sure that my light is nice and reflected. Now into there is going to go Mr. Trout, and that's going to direct all my oil where I want it to go. But I need something for that to sit in. Now this fire is slow going today because everything's wet, so that'll get going, but the sooner we get it on, the sooner it starts heating up. And I think for the purposes of collecting oil, it's probably better that it is a slower fire. It'll stew it nicely. So what I've got is a couple of pieces of holly that have got V's on it. Now I'm using the holly because the food isn't going to touch the holly at all. I know that holly can be toxic. They're just going to hold my pan basically next to the fire and direct it. So holly, even though holly is not the world's most useful bushcraft material for various reasons, it does have some uses, and one of its greatest uses that I think is making pot hangers and things that you're not actually cooking directly on, but things that can be around the fire, because holly is very green and very wet. It's an evergreen and it stays green and wet the whole year round, and because of that it doesn't burn easily at all, so it is really good at doing that job. So I'm going to get it nice and close to the fire, because as I've said, this is not the world's greatest fire today on account of it being a very wet day in Balamory today. There and there. Well, obviously you want a bit of an angle on that, so as it leans down. Beautiful. Now what I'm going to do is just put a tuna can under there. Yeah, smoke in the face. And that will catch the oil. Now I'm going to add Mr. Trout in there in just a second, but when you are collecting your oil, keep an eye on it, because the first thing that's going to come out is water. You want to omit that, as in lob the beggar out basically, because there's no good having water. That's not going to burn. So the first thing, time to add Mr. Trout. The old bosun Dan's shake and bake. Good old Wadobo. Let's Wadobo him up. Get a bit of flavour in him. Magic. Ah, love it. Right, sorry that was a bit brutal with the camera though. So now what I'm going to do is just lay Mr. Trouty, poof, if I can without getting too smoked, lay Mr. Trouty in that pan as neatly as I can really. That's it. Even though he is a slippery little beggar. That's it. Lovely. Magic. Ah, yes. So, we can see him and how he is arranged in there. I've got him head down like that. So as he starts to heat up, all that oil should run out straight into my tuna can. At least that's the hope. So I have also got some delicious burgers that I want to cook, but I need that. Fold that around, thread it through, and weave a grill. Do you know, I love these grills that I've suddenly started to make and develop. They work quite effectively. And there we go. A bushcraft grill. It'll do its job. It'll do its job. Ooh, the fire. Right, let's get this somewhere near the heat. Yeah, that should do it. as the fire grows more. Meat in the woods. Lovely. Oh, it's in my pocket. Excellent. Right, let's give those a good old wood oboing. And I am going to get some more firewood. The old billook. I don't use this very often. And I don't know why. It's a perfectly acceptable bushcraft tool. It's just that these billooks, brush hooks, whatever you call them, in the hands of someone who's not used to using hand tools and cutting tools, they can be bleeding lethal. Yeah, I'd say they're even more dangerous than an axe if you don't know what you're doing with them. So, unless you are used to using cutting tools in the woods, don't rush out and get yourself one of these and think you can just start hacking around it. It takes quite a bit of experience really to use these things. If you're using a fire pit that you've used before or you've used a lot, you'll always have fire dogs, charcoaly half-burn things that are usually soaking wet. But that charcoal dries mega quick. The water evaporates out of the charcoal really, really fast. So it's always worth chucking them back onto your fire, whether they're wet or not. The water will get out of them very quickly, and once it does, they'll burn brilliantly, and they'll add to your ember bed as well. So always worth using them when they're lying about. You know, it's weird, I probably love doing this in winter more than I do summer. Don't know why. Woohoo! Wow, that was a warm one. Way up now. Well, this trout's taking its sweet time. I should really, I think I've made a bit of a larger fire. It'll get there though. Patience. So I was just in the background there, adding a bit more camouflage to my wall. I am going to do another video on the spot soon. Probably not today. I'm not going to bother filming what I'm doing over there today. It's not very interesting. I'm just moving holly about and camouflaging stuff. So. Finish my brew before I do oat. The trout is cooking, it's just taking its time. And it's not leaking much oil yet. This might turn out to be just a cookout in the woods. Oh well, we'll see. Tell you what though, the delicious burgers are done. And I've got another little accumulation of my burger wax underneath them. So perhaps, instead of a fish oil lamp, I should have done a burger wax candle. They're so good. I never get tired of these. I only started eating cooking burgers in the woods when I did the gold panning video. And that was because they hadn't got any chicken breasts in. So I thought, well, yeah, it is what it is. I'll have to make some form of grill, which I did. That proved so successful that now I keep bringing burgers. Oh, this is where all the regulars start commenting saying, oh, you're making me hungry. With a nice coffee. But as soon as I've eaten these burgers, I can get the grill out of the way and get the fire hot. So you can see now We are starting to get the oil dripping. What I found is you need to take your knife and stab it a bit along the back so you've got more holes to let the oil come through, otherwise it will just pools in the middle of it and doesn't come out. But you can see it coming out. Now, unfortunately at the moment I don't know how much of that is truly oil and how much is water. I guess we'll find that out later on. But it is slowly starting to work. It's took ages to get this to start dripping. I don't know, well, it can't be the pan, but it's not cooking very quick. Maybe I've just not got it hot enough. So I have to say that's one of the worst ways that I have found to cook trout. So I've changed it and put it directly on the fire to get more heat in it, because this is taking forever to cook. This method now on the fire, having stabbed it through a bit, it's getting better. It's cooking a lot quicker. I can see oil coming out now as opposed to before when it was mostly water. Now I'm guessing the idea here is that oil and water don't mix. So what will happen is it'll naturally separate, all the water will sit underneath it. That's what I'm hoping for. Right, so the idea is, there's the fish oil, or goo. There's the fish goop that I've got out. I am not holding out much faith for this. Really, I'm not. The idea is, what I should have ended up with is a romantic candlelit dinner for one, with a nicely cooked fish and a nice little candle. And what I've got is just a little glass bottle with a metal lid with a hole in it and some natural wicking rope. Any natural fibre rope will do the job. I am not convinced that this is going to work. I don't think I've quite perfected the idea. I think what I may have done is just ruin a trout. But there's only one way to find out. So I'm going to tip my fish liqueur gooey bits and everything. Get the wick wet. Let all that gloopy, horrible stuff. I think actually this bottle is perhaps just a tickle too big. You'd probably want something a bit smaller, to be honest with you. Even though it is a tiny bottle, I'd say that's probably a touch too big. So I'm going to let that soak up a minute. A sip of vitamin coffee whilst we... now we're going to find out if this fish is at all in any way, shape or form worth eating. Its eyeballs come out, that's a good sign. Let's have a look. Ooh, well, it's hot. Okay, well that's all right. It's not the best trout ever, I have to say. I think I honestly prefer my butterfly fillet method. But it's come away from the bones, look. Definitely trout. You can definitely taste the adobo. Oh yeah. It's not a method that I would use to cook a trout unless I was specifically doing this. Maybe trout isn't the best fish to pick for this fish oil thing. Oh, I mean, it's edible. Right. That wick looks wet. Can you see? Yeah. Right. Now, come on then. Come on then. Let's see if it works. I don't believe this is going to work. Have faith, I guess. Is that wicking, or is it just the string burning? That was just the string burning. It's wet. Let's just make sure it is wicking through. Good and wet. I think I may have made several mistakes here. My romantic candlelit dinner for one isn't working. I mean, it's sort of burning. So this video, I think, is a fail. But I'm not going to give up. I have seen this work. I mean, I'm going to give up today. I can't stay out here all day, but I have seen this idea work. I think I need more research. I'm still going to make the video and put it up. Usually when things go a bit wrong, I don't, because nobody wants to see that. But having already gone through other efforts with it, I mean, there is oil in there. But having already gone through other efforts for this video, I'm going to post it anyway, because, you know, it's a laugh. And not everything works every time. And apparently, this is one of the ones that isn't working. But I do still have a lovely trout out of it. Even though, hands down, this is definitely not the best way of cooking trout. Stick with what I show you in the butterfly filleting video. That is a much nicer way. Let this soak a bit more and just see, because it's obviously not. Maybe the hole in the bottle is too tight and it's not wicking up enough. I don't know. Always carry a little container of paraffin with me, just in case I struggle with a fire because I don't always bushcraft fires. Sometimes I'll just bring fire lighters out and cheap, because if I'm doing a video that's not related to a bushcraft fire, it don't matter. Sometimes you just need fire. So what I'm going to do is fill it up with kerosene, probably wasting paraffin here, but I'm just going to top it off with that and see if this device works as an actual candle anyway. Maybe the wick isn't great, or, you know, give that a second to soak in. Where have I put my lighter? In this pocket. Right. Pop that lid back on there. Right, give it a minute. See if it works, because there could be many reasons, but like I say, it was experimental. So it looks like we might be having a fish oil candle too. That is not working. So really, after all of that, you just get to sit and watch me eat a trout. Well, that's bushcraft, folks. I can honestly say, if I'd butterfly filleted this, there wouldn't be any bones in it. What a nuisance. Oh well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. And at least we had a lovely time out in the woods. This is the first idea I've tried, actually, that has completely failed on me like that, so a bit more research, I think. Maybe trout wasn't the best of choices. Maybe I need a better wick. But still, if you don't try, you don't learn. Anyway, guys, as far as you folks are concerned, you're probably not going to enjoy sitting watching me eating a trout for another 10 minutes, so I'll say goodbye. That is all I really need to do today for that lovely, charming little failure of a video. Well, I will post it. It keeps it real, doesn't it? But other than that, folks, get yourselves out there, get bushcrafting, be safe, enjoy yourselves. Maybe try and make the fish oil candle, and if you get it to work, please do share how, because that was a disaster. But other than that, guys, I'll catch you on the next one, and that's all from Bosun Dan.